Following up on a video we did earlier today about Donald Trump's disastrous and terrifying meeting with Nayib Bukele, the very cruel president of El Salvador, we actually have a hot camera, hot mic moment where Trump and Bukele entered the Oval Office and were whispering to each other before the press was allowed to enter. Unbeknownst to them, it was being live streamed. And Trump whispered to Bukele that he wants to send American citizens, he wants to deport American citizens to El Salvador, presumably to be tortured and imprisoned. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. Folks, this is stunning stuff. This is anti-constitutional, unconstitutional, authoritarian, just another excessively tyrannical gesture from Donald Trump. As Jonathan Lemire of The Atlantic notes, before the press pool entered, this exchange was captured on the El Salvador government's live stream. Trump endorses sending homegrown U.S. prisoners to El Salvador, meaning American citizens, to notorious foreign prisons. So we're going to play this clip, again, unbeknownst to Trump and Bukele, being live streamed, picked up on that live stream by the El Salvadorian government.
Demanded the people wanted to change everything, and they wanted to. He demanded, they love you, they love what you do. No, I'm not here to support it. I want them to do, homegrown criminals next. Yeah. I said, homegrowns are next. The homegrowns, you got to build about 5 more places. Yeah, that's fair. All right? It's not big enough. No, yeah, come on. So this is a much different office than you're in.
So the people off camera laughing were members of Trump's cabinet, members of Trump's staff, laughing at Trump whispering like, hey, we're going to send you American citizens. So you actually need to build more gulags, more prisons to accept American citizens to do with what you will. Stunning, staggering stuff. Again, very clear that Trump did not intend, at least initially, for people to know about that, because he waited until before the press were allowed in the room. He's whispering it, and it's being caught on camera. Then subsequently, in the public meeting, Trump just drops all pretense and actually utters it out loud explicitly in front of the media.
Are you willing to pay for those facilities to be opened if new ones were going to be built?
I'd do something. We'd help them out. Yeah, we help them. They're great facilities, very strong facilities, and they don't play games. I'd like to go a step further. I mean, I said it to Pam. I don't know what the laws are. We always have to obey the laws, but we also have homegrown criminals that push people into subways, that hit elderly ladies on the back of the head with a baseball bat when they're not looking, that are absolute monsters. I'd like to include them in the group of people to get them out of the country, but you'll have to be looking at the laws on that, Steve, okay?
So I've got another clip to play here where a former U.S. attorney kind of breaks down why this is a huge problem. But, well, actually, let's play that clip, and then we will unpack it all together. But there again, Trump dropping all pretense and saying finally in front of the cameras, in front of the media, yeah, I'd like to send American citizens to El Salvador, to these gulags. So here's a former U.S. attorney explaining why that's a problem and why it is indeed unconstitutional.
What about this indication from President Trump that he would consider sending U.S. citizens described as homegrown criminals to El Salvador? Can he legally do that?
Of course not. What he's saying is we'll have a constitution-free zone. Yes, there are terrible criminals here, but that doesn't mean you can torture them, for example. That's an Eighth Amendment violation. That doesn't mean you can violate all their rights. And that's exactly what he's suggesting. We'll do a constitution-free zone where we send them to our buddies to torture them, and nobody can contest it in the United States. It's pernicious. This is really, even in this case, an abomination of a day with both those suggestions, Boris. I know you can hear it from my tone, but it is way, way beyond the pale and just contempt for the Constitution and rule of law.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Okay, and actually I've got one more clip I just saw. Apparently Fox News is weighing on this as well. They're talking to Donald Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, about this. I've not seen this clip, so we will be reacting to it indeed live together, you and me. But this is Fox News host Martha McCallum speaking to Tom Homan, Donald Trump's border czar. And according to the description in the video, it is about, again, this interest in Donald Trump, or of Donald Trump, to deport American citizens to a foreign gulag.
Can you describe like who would fall into that category and what the president was referring to there, Tom?
You know, Martha, I don't know. I haven't had that discussion with the president. I've been on the road. I just got home like an hour ago, so I haven't had a discussion with the president or the DHS secretary, so I'm going to have to pass on that question.
Okay, that's fine. It sort of came out of nowhere, the question, so I wondered if you knew something that we didn't know. Can you describe, like...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know nothing about that. We're going to have to punt on that question. Okay. And again, Martha McCallum, I'm sure she's shocked by it, but not doing her due diligence. I'm just imagine if it had been a Democratic president saying something similar, I imagine she would be a bit more persistent. But again, she even sounds kind of surprised too at this utterance from Trump. But exactly as this former U.S. attorney, and I'm blanking on his name. Oh, what is his name? I'm blanking on his name, but the guy in the second to last clip that we watched had to say, it's just unconstitutional, right? So even if, let's say, that Trump really would only indeed deport hardened criminals, that he wouldn't make the mistakes or administrative errors that we've caught the Trump administration making, deporting non-violent people to foreign gulags, or people who are supposed to be legally in the United States via court order to foreign gulags, or it's basically, even if you give the most charitable interpretation of this, the fact of the matter is that even then, if you're an American citizen, it's unconstitutional for you to be deported to a foreign gulag for punishment, just as he says it's unconstitutional for you to be tortured. You are entitled to rights in this country, to civic, civil, legal, human rights in this country, no matter who you are. The government is constrained in terms of what it can do to you. There's due process involved. And that, again, is assuming the most charitable interpretation. But the reality is, given the recklessness, the scattershot approach, the screw-ups, the failures of the Trump administration to actually deport people lawfully, particularly the violent criminals that they said that they were going to be focused on, this is a problem. Was to prevent the Trump administration from, say, deporting me. I'm an American citizen, never been convicted of any sort of crime, and yet what's to stop them from saying, oh, I'm going to deport Josiah from Pondering Politics. We think he committed a violent crime. We have no evidence of it, certainly no charges, no convictions, but why not? Oh, we can't get him back. Sorry, but what are we going to do? Go to war with El Salvador? What's to stop that from happening? Or you, or your loved ones? What's to stop that? The fact of the matter is that for all intents and purposes, there are none. You could say, well, no, the law forbids Trump from deporting American citizens, so we don't have to worry about that. Well, the law has also forbidden them from doing multiple things that they've done anyway, because Trump has repeatedly violated court orders and now is openly defying the Supreme Court in the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, as we discussed in a previous video. This is the problem. This idea that, let Trump skirt the edge or, get close to like crossing the line because the line will stop him. According to who? What will stop Trump from deporting American citizens who aren't just hardened criminals, which again is unconstitutional and objectively wrong, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not? It is unconstitutional and illegal to deport hardened, violent criminals, homegrown criminals, to other countries. But what's to stop them from going further and just deporting their political opponents? There's no evidence, no limiting principle, no reason to take them at face value that they would never take that step because they are constantly escalating. Again, extremely disturbing and sinister stuff. Worthy of impeachment. Of course, that will never happen because Republicans control the Congress, control first the House of Representatives, which would be the body to impeach. They control the Senate, which would be the body to convict. You need a supermajority anyway. But once again, we are seeing the sinister fruits of grading Trump on a curve and creating a false equivalence. Democrats and Republicans equally good, just Trump's unconventional. We're seeing this manifest. Trump is taking this unearned credulity, this unearned credit, the unearned benefit of the doubt, and he's running roughshod over the American legal system and now openly discussing with foreign, cruel, authoritarian presidents like Nayib Bukele about deporting American citizens to him. Truly sinister stuff. This is where we are, and we're less than 3 months in. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.